Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. So I got the red, green, blue research that we had talked about up to bots and the first level of bot upgrades. In doing so, I actually doubled the blue science build just to make it go a little bit faster, and I haven't had any problem keeping up. I added 2 more machines making engines. And it went pretty quick. Now that I have all this here, I'm thinking that I might as well let it continue to run and do all the other red, green, and blue research that we can get done, since there's not much else for us to do. And that'll unlock a lot more of the basic technology, including our cargo planes and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to do military science or anything until we can do that in the rest of the base. All right, so at this point, I'm going to hit Shift T. I'm going to turn on, well, first I'll add the chemical science pack to the allowed ingredients, and then I'll enable auto research and let that get going. Okay, so now that we can, I removed some of the labs as well because, this wasn't building fast enough to keep all the labs running, so I figured I might as well just pick up the ones that weren't able to run. So I've got, 9, 18, 21 labs now, and it seems like the right amount for how fast I'm able to produce these science packs, which is to say not very fast at all. All right, so we'll just let the research go and do its thing while we work on some other stuff. And then we'll need to go and start making a few bots. I've got the modular armor now. I do have the ability to make another personal roboport once I pick up some batteries. I don't recall if I did that on camera or not, but I got the plastic here. I'm making sulfuric acid. I've also been buffering some batteries, so I've got 400 batteries there ready. We'll need those to make the flying robot frames for the bots. Okay, so with all this, I'd like to get, another, what do I need? Well, a few dozen construction bots, I would say. And then, maybe 50 or 100 logistics bots just to operate here so that when I go over here to pick up supplies, the bots can resupply me automatically. Okay. So, in the meantime, I added another grid section up here, and it very nicely made its way around this big iron patch. So what I want to do now is set up my first iron outpost. These 2 patches, as you can see, are going to be intersecting directly with my grid. So I'm probably just going to erase them completely. Like I mentioned before, I've got this ore eraser mod, and I really don't want anything. I don't want to build over any patches, and I don't want to get in the way of my grid. So I think that any ore patches that are in the way of my grid, I'm probably just going to erase from the map completely, just to keep things nice and clean. I could probably do iron mining over here in this grid section as well. Since I got some there, but I think to begin with, 1 is enough. All right, so I gathered up a few trains. This is the train that I had already built, and then I made 2 more. I built an exit point from this side, goes into a small stacker, which can take up to 4 trains. So I think I'll start with 2, maybe 3 trains at the most. All right, so here's where it's going to get a little bit different. For loading the trains, what I wanted to do in this series, because I've never tried it before, but I've always wanted to. I want to do direct mining into the train. So what I mean by that is I'm going to have the rails go right through the ore patch, and I'm going to have mining drills, separated. We'll need power poles. So each cargo wagon is going to have 4 mining drills putting ore directly into it. So the loading stations are going to be directly on the ore patch, and there won't be any chests, there won't be any inserters. Now, early in the game, it's going to be rather slow because, with 8 cargo wagons, I can have 16 on each side, so one train will have 32 mining drills. And at the beginning of the game, before we start getting mining bonuses, I do have a 10% bonus now, so somewhere around 27 or 28 mining drills will fill a yellow belt. Okay, so right now when I only have 32, imagine filling up these trains with one yellow belt full of ore. It's going to take a while, and that's part of the reason why I'm going to start with 3 trains, or at least 2 trains. I might use all 3. We'll see. But later in the game, and I've tested this, once your Megabase has been running for a while and you've got 20 or 30 levels of mining productivity done, and you put speed modules in your mining drills and have beacons with speed modules, it gets to the point where the train actually loads faster than it can with chests and inserters. So I think it'll be pretty cool at higher levels, but early in the game, it's going to be kind of slow. All right, so I got a blueprint here. Actually, yeah, I'm going to grab a blueprint, including that signal, all the way to the back. And I think I probably even need one more bit of rail. Yeah, see, the signals are actually on the curved section of track. Okay. So this is what I need to... I'm just trying to gauge the length of rail that I need to encapsulate the whole train. And it's this back part that I need to be most concerned about. The front is just going to be the locomotives. Now, this does mean that some of the patches are not going to be covered by mining drills, right? So, I'm not terribly concerned about that, but that is, I guess, one of the drawbacks of this. But like I mentioned, in Alexi's base, which he made in creative mode, he eventually just created his own ore patches. And so he just made an ore patch that was essentially big enough to fit the cargo wagons, and made it really high density. And then, he could just park the train there. And so anyway, there's going to be bits of this that are not going to get covered, but that's okay. All right, so I think this could be the first one. Let's see how much coverage we're getting. Yeah, I want to make sure we get decent coverage, like up here. Over here, I've got some on the edge that's not going to get covered, but that's not a big deal. We'll probably have to move these around a bit. Okay, so let's connect the rail up here at the north. I think that's right. Yeah, nice. Okay. All right, and then I didn't pick up any train stations. So I'm going to craft a few train stops. Okay, so down here, yeah, that should be fine. All right, so what do we want to call these? I guess we'll just call this, oh, you know what, let's do the meta tags or whatever. We'll call this iron ore 1. Okay, and they're all going to be called iron ore 1. All right, so let's send this train to iron ore 1 until full. Okay, and now we can see where to put our mining drills. Okay, so it'll be like that. I guess I should probably start using, oh, I don't have any medium power poles. Crud. I should really start using the medium and big power poles and stop using the small ones. Let me get in my car and go pick up some power poles. I've been crafting them. I've been playing around a little bit with Train Supply Manager to figure out how it works, and I think I've got the basics of it figured out. Just the basics. But that'll be enough to get started. Okay. So over here, I've got lots of signals. Let me get some more chain signals. Yeah, there's the regular train stops. I'll just take a full stack of those. I'll take one stack of each of the TSM stops, and then I'll get my power poles. And I really want to get rid of this stone. Yeah, this uses stone. I wish I had room to put another chest over here. Okay. There we go. Now I can put my junk stone in there and it'll get used up. One of the things I want to do once I get some construction bots made is start clearing out all these trees over here. I don't really want to take the time to bother with it myself, but okay. And then once we have an iron mine running, then we can start setting up smelting as well. So that's why this is our first step. And I could always put in, speed module 1s. I can get 3 of them into each one of these drills. That would give me a 60% increase in speed. So I think we'll probably want to start using modules right away. All right, let's throw in lights. I'm going to have to start handcrafting a bunch of lights. I don't think I'm making them automatically yet. All right. Now, usually I try to be pretty efficient with my resources, but this is going to be such a big excuse me. This is going to be such a big base, and it's going to be running for a long time that I don't mind if we waste a lot of resources on lots of lights and things like that. You know, like using blue belts everywhere, that sort of thing. I'm not gonna worry about those type of things in this case, especially since I'm willing to create my own ore patches if I have to, you know. Okay, so this is mine number 1. let's get some power brought over. Let's bring it over from here, I guess. Now TSM has the ability to make fuel depots as well, and I'll have to figure out how to do that. Okay, so there we go. 12, 16. Yeah, so that's really damn slow. That's all right though. All right, so if we're going to save space for beacons, then we would want to leave a space of 3 tiles in between so that we can put beacons with speed modules in between each one of these rows. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this whole thing, except for that factory. Actually, let me put a signal on the tail end of this here. I'll put it right there. And in fact, I can copy this whole shebang like that. I'm going to hold down Shift so I can edit it and remove that assembly machine. I just need that there as a spacer. Okay, so we'll put another one there. Actually, I probably should have kept that, shouldn't I? So I can see how to space out the next one. You know what I can do? There. All right. There we go. All right, so that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. Well, let's put a 4th one, why not? Okay, 4 is a good start. With those first couple bot updates, the bots are much faster. Still a little slow, but I think I can live with this for now without having to get nanobots or anything like that. Oh, and I need a lot more lights. I think when I get back to the starter base, I'll set up some crafting of lights as well, because I'm going to have a lot missing. How are we doing over here? 360, so it's about 20% full now. Yeah, so it'll take a while. But I think if we have several trains running, it should still be fast enough for us to, to get started. Because it's going to deliver, since it's such a big train, it's going to deliver a lot all at one time, so. All right, and I am out of mining drills, so we'll need to go back and get some more. Let's do that. And then we'll work on the exit portion. It'll be nice when I get my plane. I mean, the car's okay, but it's not too good with all these trees in the way. All right, so let's set up the crafting of lights. I'll grab mining drills. I think I've got 100 at a time, right? Yeah. So let's get 100, and then I'm going to increase this to 200. We're going to use a lot of them eventually. Okay, so for the lights I need copper wire, iron, and circuits. And we'll do, I don't know, 2 stacks at a time, I guess. All right, I'll grab those mining drills too. All right, let's see how this research is going. Yeah, we're getting them all done. We'll get another level of mining productivity next. And actually, you can prioritize things. So I can tell it to prioritize mining productivity 2. It'll switch over to that, and then when it's done with that, it'll go back to determining what to make automatically. The other thing I noticed is my to-do list apparently has the same hotkey as auto research, so I might have to go and change the hotkey assignment. Let me grab some coal so I can keep this thing fueled. These grids are so big that even just using a train to get around, there's still a lot of running around once you get to where you're going. It's cool though. I kind of like building really big like this. It's fun. And once we have the airplane, it'll make it much easier, because then we can fly over trees and we can fly over rails without getting run over. Okay. And I should have got another train too. All right, so this train's almost half full now. All right, so again, let's add this. Oh, I need to change these train station names. I thought they would have been duplicated, but they were not. There we go. Okay, and you go there until full. Okay, and as you can see, they just choose the closest station. And it looks like I've got room to fit probably one more. And if we move things down, maybe we can fit a couple more over here. But hopefully this'll last a long time. I mean, I've got, what do I have here? Yeah, I've got 128 mining drills in operation right now, so that's like 4 or 5 yellow belts. Yeah, it's not a whole lot. It'll be a lot better once I get speed modules and everything put in. Okay, so now I got to figure out where I want this to get back onto the main line. Now the other thing, in Alexi's base, the full trains went to an iron depot, which was a grid section that had nothing but a bunch of rail stations in it. And the trains would go there and wait to be called. So thinking long term, I should set that up. I should set up an iron depot. But what I could do now, since I'm working on a smaller scale, it'll be easy to add a depot later on, if and when I decide to do that. What I could do right now is I could add the supply stop directly after these. So in effect, treat this as a depot. Okay, and we'll call these, let's see, Yeah, I should rename these. Iron ore 1 fill. Or iron ore 1 load. Yeah, let's call it that. So these are called iron ore 1 load now. All right, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Let me check my power. Oh, okay, doing fine. Yeah, once this fills up, that'll be 16,000 ore. Okay, and then what do we want to call these? We'll call them iron ore 1. I don't know, depot? Weight? Let's call it, yeah, let's call it iron ore 1 depot. I mean, even though it's not a dedicated depot yet, at some point it will be. When I make a dedicated iron depot, then these stations will get pulled up anyway. Okay. And then from there, I need to exit. I think it would be good to exit on the opposite side of the grid, which would be over here. So let me see if I can make that work. I need a 1x in. No, out. Yeah, it's out in the sense of out of the grid, not out of the main rail. I'll just have to see. I don't know if I'll be able to make the curves to make this work. Let's see. All right, well, let's do this first. No, it's too close, at least for this first train. Okay, so I'm gonna have to take these out another way. So let me remove this. I can't see what I'm doing here. Okay. So I'll put the out down here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the center. Okay. There we go. Okay, it's not quite complete. We're missing one little bit of rail. All right, and then I think on the output side, I'll put a signal there. And then I'll put chain signals here. Oops. Okay, how are we doing here? This one's almost full. Awesome. Not even close. And about half full. All right. Yeah, so once this gets done, we'll get a little bit of a boost. We'll go from plus 10 to plus 20%. But I think that's as far, I think that's, yeah, I won't be able to do any more until I get purple and yellow science packs. So it'll be a while before I get any more mining productivity. But we can make speed modules. I don't think I can make beacons yet. Nope, I need purple science for beacons. Yeah, but we'll be able to at least make speed module ones, and that'll speed things up quite a bit. It'll also consume a lot more power, so should probably take a look at how I'm doing on my coal here. How big is that patch? All right, we got less than 1 million on this coal, so I think if we're gonna start stressing this, we're probably going to need more coal. And we could also, I mean, I've got plenty of petroleum. We could start making solid fuel. I could also, yeah, you know what I should do? Should convert this to advanced oil and start making solid fuel. Okay, so this train's full. Okay, yeah, so after that, we're going to go to the depot until it gets a circuit condition. Okay, and that'll tell it to go to this supplier train stop, and there it'll wait for further instructions, which it's not going to get until we have a consumer for all this ore. And that's when we'll start using this stuff. So, for example, we'll set a source priority. So iron ore is the resource. We need to give it an ID, so I'll just call it a 1. And then we select what station that represents. Save that. All right, so now anything going to iron ore 1 depot will be part of this supply priority. And then when we set up the consumer stations, those will be set up in a similar way. Okay, no, don't do the fuel stop. You go back to load. You go back to load. It's not time to go to the depot yet because they're not full yet. So hopefully they'll come back and wait. And they don't have a lot of fuel, which I think is why they're adding a fuel stop to their schedule. So I'm going to have to make a fuel depot at some point. But first I need to learn how that works. Okay, so that's all set. So we've got iron supply. Yeah, so for the rest of the time we've got here, why don't we convert our oil over to advanced oil and start making some solid fuel to go along with it. And we can use that to power our factory. We're probably going to we're either going to need more steam power or solar power probably before we're ready to go to nuclear. Okay, I've already got the water here, so I should be able to just change the recipe and have it start working right away, which is awesome. I've got a full tank of petroleum over there. All right, let's make 2 more tanks. So I can have 1 for light oil and 1 for heavy. Okay. All right, good. I've got some pumps, so we'll throw some pumps on there. Get those powered up. All right, so how do I want to do this? I'm just trying to think if I want to make. Oh yeah, I think in fact, I think I have to make lubricant if I'm going to make bots, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's do that first. I'll put the lubricant factory right here. And I'll have that go directly into a tank. And I will put a pump on it. And yeah, and I'll let it run like that. So actually I don't need that pump, because I'll make as much lubricant as needs to be made. And then what I'll do here, if I have the space for it, I'll do heavy to light. No, I can't put it there. Okay. That's really not the best place for that, is it? Okay, well, I'll do it this way. So heavy to light cracking. And I'll do that whenever I've got an excess of heavy oil. So if heavy oil is greater than 1,000, let's say, then I'll start cracking it into light oil. Okay. And then that's going to be for water. And then the output, do I want to convert light to petroleum? I think I want to convert light to petroleum only if I've got a full tank of light oil. All right, so let me move this over here so it's kind of out of the way. And then this will be for the solid fuel. Please fit. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's a little ugly, but it works. I don't need any water there. All right, let's see how much light oil I'm making here. All right, I'm going to make 45 every 5 seconds. So that's what, 9 per second times 4. So I'm making 36 light oil per second. Which is 72 every 2 seconds. So to use up all this light oil, I need eight of these. So that's 2, 7, 8. Okay. Whoa, I'm out of belts. It's been a long time since that happened. All right, let me go grab more belts. And we can use this to fuel the trains as well once we make a fuel depot. Okay, let's take that. I'll take that. Yeah, might as well take that too. All right. 4. Nope. There. That should force me to get a full belt. All right. I'm just going to use up the rest of these wooden power poles that I have in my inventory. And then I'm going to stop using them. Okay. And then the other thing we can do to keep all this running is we can convert excess petroleum to solid fuel as well. Now the petroleum, we make 55 every 5 seconds, which is 11 per second times 4, 44 per second. $44 per second, okay, which is 88 every 2 seconds. So 5 of these will do the solid fuel. I need another one of those factories. I'm out of pipes, really? Jeez. I need to really start supplying myself better. Okay. No way to truly balance this one, I guess, since I have an uneven quantity. So I'll just do this. Okay, and then we'll go up here. Boom. All right, and then we need another pump. Ugh. I don't have another pump, do I? Crap. Okay. All right, well, I guess I'll put it here. All right, it's not super elegant, but it'll work. Okay, and then that pump, I'm going to tell to go when petroleum gas is greater than, I don't know, let's say 10,000. Okay, that way we'll always leave at least 10,000 of it for plastic and sulfur, and all the rest of it we can convert into fuel. Okay, so now we're making lots and lots of solid fuel that we can feed into our power plant. All right, I'm going to get rid of this this thing that I was using for the wood. Okay, and I've already got input priority on the solid fuel, which is what I want. It'll still take coal if it needs it. But it'll take the solid fuel as a priority. I mean, I've got a lot of stored fluids here, so I'm going to be making a lot of solid fuel in the short term, I would say. But, I mean, eventually I expect the quantity of solid fuel that we get out of this to start to decrease a bit. I didn't really give myself much room for another one of these, did I? Yeah, I could probably make it work. I can make it work if I reroute some of these belts and stuff over here. Look, I got a lot of these mining drills starting to deplete. And that's fine. I didn't want this to be a long-term setup anyway. But I'll probably have to set up some additional mining drills over here at some point. How are we doing over there? Yeah, I got plenty of crude oil. All right. All right. Yeah, so these are already starting to convert over to solid fuel, which is good. You know what? I probably do need, first of all, I need to get this light oil out of here. So I can use it. I'm going to put a pump there. I need engines. All right, let me grab a few engines. I want to put a pump on that output so that to make it kind of a one-way valve. Oh, and I still need to hook up the water. Okay. Okay, there we go. I was going to say I still need to do light oil cracking, because if I don't need the solid fuel, then my light oil tank is going to fill up. All right, so let me, man, I can't make anything. I need steel, I need pipes. Let me grab some steel off the belt here. Get some pipe. I'll get some iron plate so I can craft more underground pipe. And then I'll craft another couple of those chemical plants. Okay. Yeah, because you never want to run out of petroleum. All right, so this uses 30 light oil every 2 seconds. And I'm making how much? 45 every 5 seconds, 9. I'm making 18, 40. Okay, I'm making 76 every 2 seconds. So I would need 3 of these if I'm going to use all the light oil that I produce. And I'll do one more just in case, because I'm also making some light oil from the heavy oil cracking. Okay. Okay. All right, and then the light oil, I'll just bring down here. Since it's already at the end of the pipeline, there we go. Since it's already at the end of the pipeline, it'll feed the solid fuel first, and then whatever's left over can come down here to be cracked into petroleum. Okay, and then I'll throw a pump there. Yeah, and this is being pumped out without limit. All right, and then I'm going to want that to go up into the petroleum tank. There. Okay, so now the only 2 tanks that should ever fill up are the lubricant and petroleum gas. I should never get full on light oil, and I should never get full on heavy oil. I should double check and make sure this is enough. 40 heavy oil every 2 seconds. $40 heavy oil every 2 seconds. I'm making 100 every 5 seconds, which is 20 every 2 seconds. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so one chemical factory is enough to take care of all the heavy oil. All right. Yeah, and then like I said, we can make a train fuel stop. I'll do some research and see how that's done, and we can use some of this. We can use some of the solid fuel to fuel up our trains as well. We're still not even using half of our power, so I don't feel an urgent need to get another set of steam power going right away. We might want to think about starting to make solar panels. Then again, I think that might be better to wait until we've got the base expanded, because the solar panels use a lot of green circuits and steel, and the accumulators are going to use a lot of batteries, and I'm not making a lot of batteries right now. So I think we'll wait until we can do that outside of the starter base. And hopefully by then, I don't know. I think I'm just going to go from steam to nuclear. I'm not going to do solar. Because I eventually want to power the trains with nuclear fuel. So I'm going to be processing uranium anyway. And if I'm processing a lot of uranium, I might as well make fuel cells out of it as well to power reactors. So I think we'll just jump from steam power to nuclear like I usually do. Hopefully the base won't be so big that I start having UPS problems, but I think we'll be okay. Until then, what else should I be working on? Bots. Yeah, I'll see if I can get some bot production set up over here. It won't be too long before we run out of things to research. And once that happens, then I'll be able to dismantle all of this, really. I'll keep the red circuits going, and then we can use those to make robots. For now, I can make another personal roboport. Oh, I needed batteries for that, not red circuits. Let me put that back. Let me grab some batteries. I can make my other roboport, even though I don't have the bots for it yet. Let's see. There we go. And I'll replace this energy shield with that, since I'm not really doing much of anything in terms of fighting bots. And then I'll work on making at least 10 more construction bots to carry around with me, and probably another 50 or so for the base, for the starter base, to clear trees and stuff. And then I'll make some logistics bots, and so I'll do a few things like that off camera, and we will continue next time. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.